Hello, and thank you for tuning in for another uplifting conversation from the Heart of Oneness Network channel. My name is K&A, co-founder of the Heart of Oneness Holistic Expo, and I am joined with fellow co-host Matt Riley. The purpose and intention of this channel is to connect hearts far and wide and offer up a container of spiritual enlightenment that supports you on your path of self-discovery and awareness. Our desire is that you leave this space feeling uplifted, inspired, and expansive. Today, we are so excited to welcome Joanna Cameron, founder of Drain ThatPain, a holistic energy therapy used for chronic pain elimination using active imagination. Her goal is to educate, inspire, and motivate you to let go of pain as you imagine a happy life. In her Heal the World experiential documentary entitled Drain ThatPain, Joanna takes you on a healing journey while following the storylines of people with chronic pain and teaches that chronic pain is emotional. Joanna, we can't thank you enough for being here with us today. We are so excited to have you. Before we get into the incredible documentary that you have offered to the world, I wanted to just say, how synchronistic it was that we actually even met each other. And I'm not really sure if you recall the events, but my recollection, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, was that you were actually participating in another show and you happened to strike up a conversation and you were talking about shows. And this person happened to mention our show. And I believe you reached out to us. And I mean, Matt, babe, I don't know if you remember, but I remember the first time, even just hearing your voice, it was like, oh my God, yes. Like there was just that resonant yes. So it's such a privilege to have you here today.
Yeah, because I think Joanna was going to be in Connecticut the days before our show last March and the days after, so it worked out perfect.
That's right. Yes, I had another event in Connecticut, and so I said to myself, I need to find out what's going on. And then I had the synchronicity. I was at an event, and I met this fabulous flute player. He plays double flutes. And
David Young.
David Young, and he's terribly talented.
He really is.
He channels, and we just hit it off like a house on fire. And I said, well, I'm going to be in Connecticut. And I said, I've got these 2 teaching events because I'm teaching Drain ThatPain. And he said, well, I'm going to be at the Heart of Oneness Festival. and you know what he said? They'd love you.
And it's true.
So here we are, right? But it's because of him that we met. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it was very nice. And I'm looking forward to the Heart of Oneness Festival. And I really believe that your dream, both of you, will come true, and a wonderful dream for August. And
yes,
I look forward to being there.
Oh, thank you so
much. We can do it in person. I do believe that's happening.
Yeah, that will be happening in August. Yeah, that's definitely happening in August for now.
Well, our lives are changing fast here in Virginia. My husband and I went out for dinner last night. I just had coffee with a friend of mine outside. And it's like, I've had my first injection, but people are having injections. And we'll be able to see our families again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't seen my parents since January of 2020. I mean, other than virtually, for reasons. It's a comfort level, and, I respect and honor that. But I'm very much looking forward to a reunion. So absolutely.
Yeah, well, we're excited too. So it's great.
Yeah, thank you. So Joanna, please share with us how Drain ThatPain began for you and how you see this transformational film changing the lives of so many. I can share very briefly how impactful it was for myself watching it for the first time. It is such an incredible combination of beautiful cinematography and obviously the energy and the essence that you bring through, and then the teaching. So please share with our viewers how that all kind of came to be.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Karen, Matt. And it's an honor to be here. I've looked forward to this. Drain That Pain is a holistic energy technique. And it's holistic in the sense, what holistic means is that you feel whole. And the truth is that so many people are stressed in everyday life that they feel fragmented. They don't feel whole. And at the base of not feeling whole, I believe, is not having an understanding of what your true self is. Mm-hmm. So when you really understand that, and when you meditate, and of course this is very much part of the movie, but when you really understand that, and you get in touch with your heart, and you meditate, and you mentioned the container that we are, but when you empty that out, when you empty out your personhood, when you empty out your roles, when you empty out the ego self, what you are left with is yourself. Mm. And it is a quiet stillness, and it's all about the now. Mm. So being in the now is really being aware. And when you're aware, your self-observation goes up. And the other thing that happens when people become more aware is they become more kind. And they become more compassionate. So what happens, and that's the same whether you're dealing with another person, but most of all when you're dealing with yourself. As your own awareness arises, your own self-compassion arises, and you like yourself more, you love yourself more. And the basis of Drain That Pain is that we live in an energetic universe. And yes, I know it sounds strange, but maybe we did come from the stars. Most people have the concept of a soul. They know that they have something inside of them, their heart. It's the heart and soul of the matter. And when they get back in touch with their souls, they understand that they are not aligned at some level. In other words, they don't feel good. So a person who doesn't feel good may have some depression, some sadness, they may have some stiffness, but once it gets to chronic pain, they've become quite a long way. In other words, the body has manifested this inside the body. Mm-hmm. Yes. So you have a negative emotion that in many times is repressed, and the repression of it means that it gets into, maybe it's arthritis, maybe it's sciatica. And most people have had some form of chronic pain. So my feeling was, if we can understand the emotional basis of that and have people understand that they can let go of it, that they don't need to feel that they're not enough. The fact that they were born, the fact that they are a soul in a body, means that they do measure up. So when people let go of what I call lack consciousness, not only do they attract into their life more finances, more of everything, because what you focus on is what you're going to attract. So that when people understand that they are good enough, and they let go of limiting decisions and limiting beliefs, which is part of Drain That Pain, they drain the pain very quickly. And really the trick is just intention, and then it is a floating technique. We don't go inside the pain. I don't really want to take people back inside their bodies. I want them to float above it and understand. And we're using then the power of observation.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Because observation is awareness's friend. And once you really become the friend of self-observation and can use floating techniques, you'll understand that suddenly when I, for instance, have a hip that acts up, but for me, it always acts up when I'm not quite moving forward.
I can relate.
You know what I mean? But as soon as I say, wait a second, I'm having some hesitation on this issue, or I'm not totally aligned. And when I meditate and get in touch with that, and then I see myself moving my hip and going on my walk, it's gone. Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
And, you know, I'm my success rate, and of course I teach people as well, but generally 90% of chronic pain that I deal with, whether it's hips, legs, sciatica, migraines, fibromyalgia, you name it. I mean, I have a whole list of them in the beginning of my book. But yes, it generally goes away. Certainly 90% can do this in one session. So much so that I guarantee my payment. I say, listen, I guarantee that I'll get rid of this.
Wow.
Now,
wow. I was
you know.
actually going to ask you, like, you know, typically I'm sure people, you know, maybe who are going to experience it for the first time might actually ask you, well, how long will this take? And so I'd love to, because, you know, we too are very, you know, big believers in, you know, your thoughts create your reality, right? So, you know, oftentimes I find people will reach a point where they're like, yes, I'm ready to let this go. I'm ready to engage in this healing, right? But then that subconscious is going, right? So I'm kind of just curious as to how you kind of navigate through that when someone may come to you with like that willingness, but yet there's still this like, I don't know.
I find that the empty out meditation works really well.
Oh,
Just take just 30 seconds, but we can do it now as if I was talking to your audience, because I am talking to our audience.
yes, you are.
But it's very simple. It goes like this. Just breathe. Just breathe now. Just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And now just empty out your container, which is your thoughts, which is your personhood. It is your to-do list. It is your roles. Just let it all go. Just let it all go. Now empty that container. Empty out. Empty out. And breathe in again. And breathe out. Now just allow your heart doors to open. And now feel a sense of detachment and compassion. This is the self. And notice that it doesn't have a beginning or an end. It can't be manipulated. In this state, the ego has gone. And you are able to believe in things that you cannot necessarily see yet. That's the trick. Believe in things that you can't see. No, feel them. Feel them. Feel how good it feels to be able to put one step in front of the other, and that hip just feels like it's had a shot of oil. Mm-hmm. It feels so good, and maybe it even is easing now, because it is that simple. You see yourself moving easily. You see yourself getting out of bed in the morning. You see yourself meditating. You see yourself emptying out those thoughts, because you realize you are not that. You are very special. We all are. We are souls in human bodies, and sometimes they're a little inconvenient. But the most important thing is just to forgive yourself, let it flow, and to feel good in the moment. And most of the time, that's enough to get people out of pain.
Wow. Thank you so much. It's like complete stillness.
Yes, it's stillness. But when people feel that, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
And that's really all meditation is. It allows you, for your, what I call the soul mind, the true self, yes, your star self, to come alive. Because you are not your stresses. You are not the to-do list. You are not the expectations. That's not who you are. You know, you're here in the most exciting time, because we are going through a historic shift.
Yes.
The consciousness is raising on the planet. And yes, as awareness rises, we're going to be kinder to each other. We're not going to go to war with each other.
Absolutely.
You know, I believe in Eckhart Tolle's New World. I believe that we are here and we have chosen to be here at this very important time. And that's what we are all doing with our goals, because there is another way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to buy into the ego mind. Because you know what happens if the ego hates the present moment. The ego wants to create dramas. It wants to create jealousies. It wants to make you feel more important. It wants you to do all of those things. And to be honest, that kind of chatter can drive you mad. And it drives most people mad. And that's what they live with all day long.
Right.
And they learn how to empty it out. It's just it's that simple. My message is really simple.
Perfect timing. Trust me.
Yes.
After my day today, perfect timing.
Empty out. So, yes, and of late, I've been writing an ebook a week. They're all on spirituality. Lucid Dreams is coming out next week, but I've written on meditation. I've written on intuition. I've written on awakening. I'm going to be writing on, chronic pain again. And all of these things, hypnosis, all of the things that interest us.
So now where can people find your ebooks? Because that was actually one of the questions Matt was going to ask you about.
They're on Amazon, yes. And if you put Joanna Cameron Amazon.
On Amazon search?
Yeah, it will come up. My author page will come up.
Wonderful.
So that's what I'm doing now. And it's exciting. I get to publish every week. Hitting publish is one of the great thrills of life.
Yes, I know. We've been seeing that. I know. Matt was that was one of the key things he really wanted to talk about a little bit today was the ebooks. We know that you're very passionate about that.
Well, I think that most people want to know the heart of the matter, to use your expression. What is the heart of the matter? And really the heart of the matter, whether I'm writing about intuition, whether I'm writing about meditation, whether I'm writing about awakening, the heart of the matter is just this. It's a raising awareness in yourself. There is more than one dimension. We are not just three-dimensional.
Right.
Lucid dreams, it's very simple. It's another dimension. But guess what? It helps you to be involved in your life, to create things in your life, to understand your life, to see the synchronicities coming. I mean, who doesn't want that? You sleep for a third of your life, but maybe you could make that sleep more absolutely fascinating. So yes, you can go and see the equinox at Stoke-Tange. You can go to a Tahitian overwater bungalow. You can do all of that. You can fly over the Sphinx. So I'm interested in the out there stuff as well. But for me, it's not out there. It's simply understanding that you are what you believe. And if you're not feeling really good, then change your beliefs.
Yeah. I love how you said that, because it is, for me, it really is about the integration of it being really very, very far out there, and then also being very, lack of better words, very human here, because we need to integrate all of that, like vastness of ourselves. I feel like we're really here to just integrate and master a bit too.
Well, yes. And, one of the things I found out about lucid dreaming is the enormous amount of research in the last 10 years, because they can actually communicate with people who are lucid dreaming. In other words, the REM state where the eyes are all moving around, they can communicate with them. And they have found that if you train people when they're lucid, in other words, you give them stomach muscles and you have them visualize their sport. And the work in sports now, so artists are training in the lucid state with a coach. And they're increasing their strength, they're increasing their confidence, they're increasing their endurance.
That's incredible.
And to me, it's one of the most incredible experiences. And just think about that. You could use your sleep to really help your day. Very cool.
That is
because we have these enormous brains, and the reason we sleep is that we receive so much information every day, and it all has to be organized. So some of it goes to different parts of the brain. So in primitive man, for instance, they would be dealing with the fear and the apprehension from the saber-toothed tiger, but at the same time, your brain is dealing with the trauma of having been exposed to that. And that is what our brains do every day. They have to deal with all of that trauma. And really, when you think about it, anything that we can do to help that is good. So the science now supports that. Very soon we'll be able to see the other dimension in our DNA.
Wow, oh my gosh.
Very soon we'll be able to see it, because they've said, oh, we only use like 30% of our DNA.
Right.
Well, we use all of it. It's just that it's other dimensional. And people say, you know, people say, what do you mean other dimension? I said, well, you felt that dreamy state between waking and sleep. You know, that pull of sleep, or you're being pulled in, or when you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about your dream. And if you just write it down, it makes all the difference. And if you just say to yourself, I intend, from now on, I remember my dreams. Probably the best 6 words you could say to yourself. Really amazing. And set intention. And then again, intention, what we want is for people to set intention. Intention to be pain-free, intention to move, intention to be happier, and to do what it takes. An intention to look after yourself and self-care. And this holistic community is really, that's what it's about.
I love that, Joanna. So now, how could someone who is very much interested in seeing the movie and the documentary, how would one be able to do that? Like, how would someone, I know we have, for our viewers, we have your website up.
You know, it's not distributed yet. But
Okay.
So I do say to groups that I will take it on the road, just as I would come to Connecticut to show it. So I say to groups, if you'd like me to come, and I'll show the documentary, and I will get everybody out of pain in the room who sees it.
Yes.
Then we can do that.
Right.
And yes, so that's the way I'm doing it right now. In other words,
I see.
Until it's distributed, I'm going to go with it and get people out of pain. And I do have practitioners. I have a training site. So there's over 400 of us all over the world. So those people also share the movie, and we do it that way. In other words,
oh, how amazing.
So the movie is being shown.
Wow.
And it's being shown at events.
Right. And in the meantime, I understand there is a trailer, right? There's a trailer that's available on YouTube for people to tune in. So we'll be sure to include that link when we do our write-up, right? To go along with this beautiful conversation.
And eventually the film will be online, but I just don't know when that is yet.
Yeah, okay.
But obviously, if anyone who is interested, who goes to my website, you know, just drop me a line. I'm also on YouTube.
Yes.
So my name on YouTube is @TheTranceLady.
I actually was just going to get into that. Yeah, because, you know, I was actually tuning in, obviously in preparation for this, to some of the videos that you have out there. And I was absolutely fascinated. Like, you know, I know we had spoken about it, you had mentioned it, but in all transparency, I hadn't really actually seen you in action doing that.
It's comedy.
And yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, you know, and to just kind of watch everyone's experience through that. So were you doing that, and then Drain That Pain was born from that? Like, was there a connection? Was there a synergy?
Well, I just knew that under a certain level of hypnosis, I could take people deep enough that they didn't feel any pain. They basically were totally pain-free. And then I said, well, this is not really workable, because most people just won't go into that really deep trance, the somnambulist, as we call it. There's only a certain percentage. But then I found, just by working with people and setting intention, that I could use a floating technique, and with their intention, and then when they're visualizing, the Drain That Pain is the waterfall, and it is this beautiful white light that comes through the chakras. So the chakras are all balanced, and that it rains all of that down. And of course, the movie is filled with drone shots of all over the world of waterfalls. And all of this imagery helps the person to do this.
Yeah.
So yes, but it doesn't require a deep state trance. That's what I'm trying to say, is for many
Okay.
years I put people in a deep state of trance and was a comedy hypnotist. Those are the people I worked with. But I also learned I could have people come on the stage. I would get rid of people's phobias on stage, right?
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
would do all of these things on stage. But what it did is it made it quick. Because you have to be quick on stage, otherwise people are bored.
I imagine.
Anyway, so it got quicker and quicker and quicker until I finally had Drain ThatPain.
Oh.
It just,
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where it kind of just
Yeah.
shifted over, if you will,
It
into
shifted
something.
over. But then I realized that there is nothing like taking people out of pain. There's nothing like the feeling that happened in me to help people to do that. And, you know, it was almost as good as making them laugh. But once they'd let go of the pain, then they laughed anyway. So it was like a twofer for me. It's like, wow. And it really is. When I made the movie, and one of the fellows in the movie, Cliff, he had such dreadful pain. And just to watch him in the morning, I mean, it took him 3 hours before he could even get up. And it was so incredible. So the things that I've seen have been absolutely amazing.
I imagine.
And these people are still out of pain, you know, they're still. And the movie just happened. The people arrived, the drone footage arrived, the director arrived, who happened to have a knee injury. And of course, I had to get him out of knee pain before he could direct the movie. But all of that happened.
Wow.
So it all happened. So it was a story within itself. And I just felt really driven to make a movie. I'd never made a movie before, but I felt really driven to do it. And I went to Nashville and it worked. So
that is so inspiring. That is so, so inspiring, Joanna. Really.
And, you know, we will eventually, there'll be masses of us who, it's going to be part of the shift. It's going to be, people are going to understand that they don't have to be in pain.
Right. Yeah.
They do have a choice in the matter. I absolutely know that. I've seen it in my own body, and I've watched people get well from all kinds of things, including cancer. You know, I've watched my husband, who had a stroke in May, get well. He lost the right side of his body, but he's totally well now. I'm not saying it's what we did here, but I am saying the human being can get well. And really, it's mostly intention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then attention to focus on what he needed to do was the exercises. And you have to learn to walk again. But, you know, if you're frustrated, you can't walk. But as soon as he could calm down, then he could do those things. So, you know, I've watched people get well, and it's a huge privilege to watch people get well and to walk away from major diseases. You know, I have a kid now who's come to me, and his mother, 15 years ago, she had cancer, and she credits me with helping her to be able to view it from above and let it go. But now this kid it's like, well, I have panic attacks, and but I know I'm supposed to teach him to lucid dream. He's brilliant. He's into Harvard, 17 years old. He's in Harvard.
Oh, wow.
And this is a brilliant brain. So I'm telling him about Einstein and Tesla and how they learn things in their sleep. And I know that's my job. You understand? I intuitively know that's what I need to do. I need to teach this kid, listen, we'll let go of the panic attacks, but you're going to do this in lucid dream, and you're also going to do your processes, and your imagination is going to change the world. I just know it. And I can't say how I told him, I said, I don't know how I know it, but I do know it.
Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful. Just so beautiful, Joanna. I mean, we are, you know, Matt and I are really privileged to have you obviously come and join the show with us in Edison in August, because I know, and when you look back in retrospect, right, in a very small particle of that big, you know, shift, if you will, beginning of the shift last year in 2020. And, you know, I can't help but feel like people are going to come out even more, because they have gone through things that they probably in this last year would have never imagined, and they've had to look at themselves in such a deep way. And many are dealing with chronic pain, chronic anxiety, and all of that. And I know that this is needed now more than ever.
Oh, I
and
think
that
so.
people are going to come out, and we're just so honored to be able to, you know, just share in it all and to witness it with you. And we're so grateful that you've brought this to humanity, and you've been so beautifully committed to the work and to just help people heal, right?
Oh,
So-
I think that, you know, the pandemic, I mean, everybody's had loss in the pandemic, everybody. And I think that, you know, now's the time to heal.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're all here. You know, we do this together now.
Yes, absolutely, Joanna.
Sorry,
Yep.
but it's emotional.
No. It is beautiful. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. My love,
Thank
is
you
there
so much,
anything
Joanna.
you'd like to add?
No, like I said, we appreciate the work you're doing, Joanna. And the film, when we watched it, we were just mesmerized by it. And, you know, you hit it right in the head. It's about intention. It's about people wanting to change. If you want to change, you can change. If you want to be healed, you can be healed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that breathing exercise you did in the beginning of this was great for me because it helped me release some things that I was stored up from this morning.
Right.
Just simple as that really helped me get in a different spot. So
Yeah.
just a
We
simple
all
exercise.
have the tools, and our job is to help people with the tools and to
Mhm.
make them understand there are tools. They're widely available online. You know, I have masses of meditations, and there are many other very good meditators too. So, and I've really enjoyed meeting the community that you have around you. I mean, I have new friends here, and that's wonderful. And I'm looking forward very much to being there in August, and encourage anyone who's come to this lovely part of the world. Come and see this incredible group of healers. And if you're in chronic pain, make sure you catch my movie, and I will get you out of pain.
Absolutely. And we'll be viewing, babe, we're going to be showing the movie on Friday evening. I think
Friday
we're
evening,
doing it
Sunday,
again on
Sunday
Sunday.
morning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yep,
I
so
will
there'll
be
be 2
around.
times.
Yes, I will be around. Yes.
Yeah. Terrific. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Joanna, we thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
your
much,
time.
Joanna.
We thank you for your heart of
Thank
offering.
you. Yes, thank you.
All right, everybody, if you want to learn a little bit more about Joanna Cameron and the work that she does, please visit her website below, and we'll be sure to include a lot more information and details about her offerings and how you too can connect with her and her incredible work. So from our hearts to yours, much love. Thank you for tuning in. Joanna, thank you.
Thank you.